Welcome back, everybody, to the Lost Legion. I'm joined by Daniel. I am whipping everybody in Invader League. And by JR. What's Legion?
Right.
Yeah. So quick podcast news. There's really no news. We're doing really well. Viewership, everybody's doing great. We're in a happy place. I did get a new camera, playing with it later today, so hopefully we'll start streaming in the 4K.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's see how it works, and I don't know if you guys might get a random Twitch notification just to see what's going on. JR, what's the update on our escalation link?
Really good, really good. We got 6 winners, or 6 people that won their games, and 6 that did not win their games. And we're on to round 2, skirmish, 500 points. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay. So I played my skirmish game. We talked about that last one, I believe, so not too bad. Let's jump into this tournament because we don't really have any new announcements. We're waiting on Grogu, which, oh, there we go. Limited edition Grogu. I forgot to put that in the notes. The box itself was spoiled. We don't know what the model looks like, and I believe it was a UK only release. But on our Discord, somebody pointed out on the box the faction logo, where the faction logo normally goes. It's the same logo as the priority supplies. So do you think like he's gonna have his own little secret missions or missions cards or anything like that? Or
This is my hope. My hope is that since it's got the same symbol as priority supplies, it's another conditioned objective deployment box, and it's gonna have 3, and one of those 3 is gonna have Grogu. Like there's gonna be 3 objectives, different objectives, 3 conditions, and then 3 deployments. I'm
Think it's
really
gonna be
hoping that's the case.
like for competitive play or just like
Yeah,
fun
competitive
scenario?
play. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
hoping it's competitive.
It'd be
Because
kind of
that's
weird
so
if
sweet.
you had a Grogu scenario, but then someone's also playing Grogu. It's like Grogu and the Mandalorian have to recover Grogu.
That's true. That's damn it, Daniel. You just ruined it for me now.
well,
Now you're
the,
probably right.
the other problem with that is if you put the 3 condition cards or whatever in a limited edition box, you can't make it competitive.
That's true. That
you guys just want to ruin my fun,
we
my
do.
hopes, my dreams.
That's actually why we're here.
That's
That's the whole point.
Oh, hey, I finally put my CIS on the table last night.
Oh, nice. What did you play?
Yeah, I
You
played
play
them as
Zombicide.
I played them as VIPs for
Phase.
Zombie Side.
Them and Yoda, huh? That's all the play that they get.
That's all the
Yeah,
play that
yeah.
they're getting.
It hurts my soul. Hurts my soul.
You know, I do have one guy that's up. I gave him an upgrade. I stepped on him and I broke his leg. And I had an extra lightsaber from General Grievous, so he has a lightsaber for a leg.
Ah, lightsaber peg leg, classic.
Yeah, yeah.
Dig it. I dig it. What color is
It's
the
pretty
lightsaber?
fun.
That must matter most.
I'm gonna go with model gray.
Fail.
Man, I got clones and half a Shadow Collective box that's unpainted. You really think I'm gonna paint the CIS?
You know, this hope. This hope is all we have. All we have.
Rebellions are built on hope. Hey, but speaking of I have clones, did you guys check out this tournament? Hold on, tabbing is
Yeah.
hard. There it is. So it is Oktoberfest. It is out of France, and it had 30 people. And this is the whole reason I picked this tournament right here. The first place grand champion. He went 5-0. Antoine Gitznerk Granite. I hope I said all that right. This is it. He brought the Republic. Great win for the clones. 11 activations. Chewie with tenacity, OP, and recon. Yoda with burst of speed, force push, Jedi mind trick, vigilance. R2D2, 2 pikes naked, 3 phase 1s naked, and 3 naked barks.
I love it. I like it.
I love it. As
He
a
not
as a
only
clone player,
you failed to mention that he literally took 21 bit. Uh, he's at 779, so his bid is 21 points.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'd be curious to see what his battle deck is, because he must have felt that it was very important. But I mean, it looks like, if I just had to guess, right? There's probably bombing run, right? There's probably hostage exchange, just because Yoda
Mhm.
is so good at that. Probably breakthrough, but I would be curious to see what his last one is, because he doesn't really want to fight with this list. Nothing here wants to fight except maybe Yoda, and even then, like if he dies, you just lose. Like with
I
this
think
list,
if he's a competitive player, I think I want to safe to say it's Sabs because you just
subs.
take blue when you're Sabs.
Okay.
Yeah, great
But
list. I want to try it.
yeah, I like his nickname. Gets Nick. I want to change it. I want that one that says gets good or get good. That's what I want.
No, I want to try it. I was looking at it. I have everything. So next fun game I have, you guys guess what you're fighting. Um, s-
Wookiees.
yeah, wikis. Second, a quick side note right there. I will talk about LVO list earlier, but with the escalation league, the list I'm building into, the way that it's running right now, it may be the base of my new LVO list.
Really? I thought you said you didn't like the Wookiees.
Okay, so
You,
the first game I played,
you know, this is hold on. This is Adam's motto. If I win with it, the unit is good and I like them.
so it's yes, but no. So I played another game with Omar, which we'll get to in a little bit, and I'll talk about my list because my opponent and I already switched lists. My new list for the escalation league. It's gonna be easier on my computer. Give me just a second. It is the Wookiee Chieftain. It is 2 of the melee Wookiees, but all of them with tenacity, OP, and the 2 melee Wookiees has priority supplies. 3 naked phase 1s, R2D2 with C3PO. And
Interesting.
it was just run the Wookiees up and just have a melee bloodbath with them, which he almost killed Chewie and almost killed a set of Wookiees. I think if he would have, I'll wait into it in a little bit. And then R2D2 just kind of doing what R2D2 does, stuff flying everywhere, bombs fly going off, and Wookiee on Wookiee action, and R2's just kind of moseying like, yeah, I gotta get to the end zone. Yeah, but so I'm really liking that. So, but back to the tournament. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Second place, Nicholas. JR, you got that up?
Yeah, he's got a all with force push, saber throw, vigilance, offensive push, Cad Bane, situation awareness, duck and cover, electro gauntlets. 2 pike soldiers, and then a black sun enforcer with the magdet enforcer and the Vigo. Fragment grenades combo. 3 suit bucks and an AA5 with raid party leader, refurbished gonk droid, and comms jammer. This seems really good. I mean, you just put Maul or the Black Forcers in the AA5, and I can't wait to play suit bikes. I'm jealous that everybody's playing them. I'm jealous Caleb's got them in his list because they just look like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like this list a lot.
Because like he's got
it's a
Cat
fun
on there
list.
too, so you Cat can just like infiltrate in with Maul, and then you put the Black Forces inside the AA5. Zoom all the swoops in the AA5 down the throat. Like this is a heavy melee close list. Like I love it.
Yep. The one issue you're gonna run into is that CAD can't relay in this list, right? And so that's gonna be a problem if you take his command cards. But then you already have the issue of what command cards do you take? Because Maul has 6 good ones, and CAD has 2 really good ones and 1 good one. So I feel like your issue then with this list becomes the command cards, and I would have been curious to see. It's too bad that they don't show us what they take in this.
All right, third place. Daniel, you want to jump into third place?
Sure. So we've got a Hero Hammer, classic rebel list here. We've got Han with vigilance and up close and personal, Chewie with protector and situational awareness, Luke Skywalker, op Luke, with push, saber throw, burst of speed, and seize the initiative. We've got Rebel Vets with recon intel, the MK2 blaster, fleet trooper, rebel trooper, 2 sniper special forces, and 1 squad of shooty wooks with the bowcaster and offensive push. So you got a lot of like weird naked core in this list, like a naked fleet trooper, a naked rebel trooper, and a naked rebel vets, just one of everything. So clearly, like the emphasis here is going to be getting your heroes in, having the shooty wooks back them up, killing some things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love Han, so
Everybody
I
loves
think-
Han.
yeah, I
No,
could
no,
see this
no,
list
no.
doing well with the up close and personal. That's just so many dodges. It's 4 dodges, 2 for him, 2 for Chewie. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, with Houghton getting steady, he just got so much better. Like
Mhm.
before, it was hard to play him. I know everyone loved him, but it was just so hard to play. But now he's amazing.
Yep.
You know, he's
Uh,
not so amazing when you're facing him. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true.
We'll take number 4, and then we'll move on from there. We'll just do top 4 today. Let's
Oh,
see
I
here.
want to talk about the guy that played against first, that won first, because I feel like that's more important.
Okay.
As he was theoretically in second place, right? And
Yeah,
then
he
he
had a
lost his
chance to
game,
win it all.
and it went down to second. Or sorry, not second. He went down to 6th place. That's gotta hurt. He's got 792, 10 activation, running Kalani with vigilance, improvised order, Cad Bane, situation awareness, duck and cover, comms relay. 3 B1 battle droids with the PK series, 2 B1 battle droids with the E5S, the Magna Guards with the RPS and situational awareness. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see why he lost this list because what do you do against Yoda? I mean, Magnas are good against Yoda, but Yoda can
Yoda's
do a
not gonna
lot of.
dive on him though. Like Yoda's just gonna sit in the back and play his objectives in this list.
Yeah. Which can the Pikes use the exemplar tokens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably most likely to happen then.
Yeah, because they use Annie's all the time.
I don't think the Pikes are gonna be fighting in his list though, because they don't, unless I'm incorrect, they don't have any upgrades, so they're don't have like
Yeah.
any courage, so they don't want to get shot.
I do want to give a mention out, honorable mention to Elliot. Elliot went 0-5 for the game, for the tournament, but I like his list, so I'm assuming he's a new player. And Elliot, stick with it. You got it. Vader, vigilance, force push, saber throw versus speed. Storms with the T-21. 2 naked storms. Imperial guards with the staff, tenacity, environmental gear. Guards with the staff, protector, environmental gear. 3 dewbacks. I like that list. I think that list has a lot of potential. Just so I'm assuming he's either unfamiliar with the game or that was his first time bringing it up because that list should have done some damage.
Yeah.
Could just be hard matchups too. You never know.
Yeah. So we'll go into our games. I'll continue with my story with my fun game over the weekend with Omar. It was pretty much a classic me and Omar game where we just ran straight at each other. Forget the objectives, forget everything else. We just want to throw dice. I had some pretty lucky rolls, and he had some pretty unlucky saves. But it came down to honestly, I was like, he had Chewy left and a Rebel. Oh, he only had Chewy left in his ATRT. And as that was it, like round 5, I was already up on VPs because we were doing elimination. He hadn't killed a single unit of mine. I think what Omar's problem, I shouldn't say problem, or Omar needs to practice more is playing the objective and focusing. So in this case, we were playing elimination, and he was focusing 3 of my units. So my 2 melee Wookiees and Chewy. He was trying to take down all at the same time. I think if he would have just picked one, like just okay, everything shoot into melee unit to 1 unit of melee Wookiees, and then the next once that's dead, everybody shoots into the Wookiee chieftain and so on. I think it would have been a whole different game. But because he kept trying to split his fire amongst the 3 units and dealing with my P1s at the same time, I just think he overexerted himself, and that's what cost him the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Wookiees are rough because if they're running at you, you just want to shoot them. So I
Mhm.
feel that temptation of like, oh, one's running, shoot at them. The next one's running now, shoot at them. Like, yeah. So it's a very easy mistake to make.
Yeah, but that was my game. That was the only game I got. Great game. I really enjoy playing against Homer. Great opponent. Daniel, Invader League.
All right, so I've been playing Invader League. I'm just gonna give you guys cliff notes on just 3 games real quick. So, first game that I played against another CIS list. Oh, I'm taking my tentative LVO list. So this is Cad and Bosk with 2 Magna Guards, 6 B1s, 5 of them have the E5S, and then a tactical droid. I have bid in all 3 of these games, which made me happy. So I'm playing blue. First game, I'm playing the other CIS list in our pod. This list is running a tactical droid, 3 staps. 2 of them have linked targeting array, and 1 has long range comlink. I'm fighting. They have 6 B1s. 5 of theirs have an E5C, and then they're also running Maul. So this is a CIS Maul, and I haven't seen a CIS Maul in a tournament for a while. So this was I looked at this and was like, oh, I play Maul a lot. Like I think this will be an okay matchup for me. This will be a good. What I was really stressed about was the 3 staps and that alpha strike. Like that's a lot of damage. So we set up. We're getting ready. We played Danger Sense, or not Danger Sense. We played Danger Close. Danger Close, Vaps, and Minefield. So Minefield, this was actually my first time I've played Minefield where we actually set up the mines. Because me and Adam had that one game where we did not.
Becomes clear conditions in that case.
Yeah. So it was a new experience. It was a lot of fun. Basically, the way that the game went down is the Staps tried to get into a position where they could flank, but because of the way the Danger Close goes, you can almost always set up basically a range 4 of things. And so I was able to put just a lot of chip damage onto the Staps, and I divulged Cad into the middle of the board. So Cad being basically in the middle, I revealed him. He took a shot and dropped one of the 2 Staps off of the long range comlink squad just immediately. And so then something that we both realized through this game is that Cad is a speeder bike killer. Like he is so good at killing speeder bikes because he gets the sharpshooter 1, so he removes their cover. He throws 4 black dice, and then he has the pierce 1. So if you give him an aim, on average, he is dropping a bike every time he pulls the trigger, which is devastating for bikes. They want both their guys, they don't want one. So Cad goes, drops a bike. That bike decides that it just wants to hide because he doesn't want to lose any axe. So that bike goes and hides. Then I start just bringing my B1s out, and they just start plinking. They end up putting 2 wounds onto another squad of the bikes, and so he decides this is probably like 6 or 7 activations in. He's like, okay, well, I gotta start sending my bikes in, or else they're gonna just get killed. So he sends them in. They they wipe one of my B1 squads because they just throw a lot of dice, especially they had orders, so they had aims. It hurt a lot. But he ends up moving them in. Then Bosk goes forward, takes a shot, and drops a bike, one of the staps off of the third squad. So he's got now 2 squads with one of them's hiding, and 1 full squad going into round 2. Round 2, I get to go first, and I go first with Bosk, and I play his Reptilian Rampage. He goes up, he finishes off one of the bikes, and then drops up the stap off of the second squad. So now there's only 1 stap threatening my B1s. Basically not an issue anymore. And at that point, the game just became, I started castling and just doing my objective while he tried to figure out a way to get Maul in. So Maul is kind of just messing around on the outskirts. And so I think it was like round 4 or 5. It was round 4. Round 4, Maul dives in. And just because I had positioned pretty well, he has to dive in onto Magna Guards. He does it at the end of the round, so the Magna Guards have already gone. But it's just not where Maul wants to be. He doesn't want to already start connected to Magna Guards, because then he has to make sure he goes first. He has to find a way to get away from the Magna Guards and into B1s. And so then he does, he successfully gets away from the Magna Guards and dives into B1s. But the way that the game works out is I just end up castling my Magna Guards around with him through the whole rest of the round. Or no, he goes first with Maul because he needs to get away from the Magna Guards, but he forgot that he's not wounded yet. And so he only got 2 activations instead of his 3. And so he dives onto the B1s, but then he can't take the standby because it took 2 moves to get to the B1s. And so he's sitting on the B1s. I just pulled back the B1s, and everything in my entire army shot at Maul. We got him up to 5 wounds, which was not what I wanted. I needed that 6th wound. I was so sad. Like, his saves were pretty great. So we get him up to 5 wounds. And then we're going to round 6, I guess, is this point, and he just dives onto B1s and hides there. And so he's just, and then in the mode of like, I just can't have Maul die because then he'd be behind by so many battle points. At this point, we've traded B1 squads. I picked off one of his with Magnas. In round 5, because of the way that the Magna positioning worked out, he did get to clear one of my Magna squads just by shooting it with B1s. Because they just decided it was better to aim and shoot at Maul. And so points wise, the way that it ended up coming down, because that was basically the end of the game, is Maul ended up sitting, hiding, trying to not get the bounty claimed, while Bounty Hunter stood just outside of range 1 with with standbys just in case he decided to try to clear the squad. We both completed both of our objectives, and it came down to battle points. And he had killed 1 squad of B1s. I had killed a squad of B1s. He ended up picking up my 2nd squad of Magna Guards, and this is where I made a mistake. I screwed up with their positioning, and he killed that squad. And so then he killed 2 squads of Magnas, but I picked up his 3rd bike. And so then in the end, I ended up winning by 22 battle points. Came down just by a tiny, tiny margin. So that was a wild game. Yeah. Second game, I played against a pike list. And this is a list I think you'd be interested in, JR, because I know that you're looking at pikes. His solution to the whole suppression issue that they have is he actually brought Gar Saxon. So he had Gar Saxon and Maul, and then he ran 6 pikes. Or let me pull it up again. I don't think it was 6, maybe it was 5 pikes.
I was gonna say, yeah, did he get to 10 acts?
He did get to 10 acts.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so he has 6 pikes. One of them is just completely naked, so just a button pusher. 5 have the disruptor, and then he has 2 capos. So he's at 10 acts. And then he just has Gar use compel so that he doesn't have to worry about suppression unless they're actually leaving the board. But in this game, I charge up CAD. This was a weird game because when we deployed Danger Close again playing Evaporators, I ended up,
Hold on, Daniel. Are we playing with your battle deck?
yeah, I was blue all 3 of these games.
So
Yep.
how are you liking Danger Close? It's the 2nd game with it.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's rough because it does generally mean that I split my army. And so even in the first game, I did split my army, and that's the Staps were trying to wipe the back half of my army. So if I hadn't stopped that Alpha Strike, I think that would have hurt really bad. I don't think there's anything better because I mean, I really like battle lines. I really like, I think I like advanced positions a little bit better because I can kind of position my B1s a little bit better in the middle. But
Mhm.
yeah, so Danger Close is kind of like a 3rd option for me, but that's usually what people will let me get.
Yeah. Okay, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to know because we were talking previously about you
Yeah,
weren't sure about danger close.
I
Your thing
like it
now.
for Magnus. I don't really like it for like everybody else.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Just bring an
But
army,
this
nothing but
one,
Magnus, you're good.
yeah, that's what I need to do. Why can't I
Yeah.
take Magnus as core? I don't understand.
Special
This
battle
one
force
was
rules.
weird because he put his Maul on the edge of his danger close. He deployed him like second or third, with the intention to try to get around to one of my evaporators. And so I just put two Magnus squads basically at range 2 of him with like a building between us. And so he had a choice. And then I was also able to put Bosk in a spot where he would be able to move and get an open range 4 shot onto Maul. And so he was now in a position where he had to choose between diving on the Magnus or just completely pulling Maul back from the position. I think probably it would have been best just to pull back, but he wanted to dive. And so he dove onto the Magnus, and then it became another game where Maul was basically being escorted by the Magnus as he hid in B1 squads until finally at the end he tried to make his move and the Magnus killed him. So that was, I felt really good about my play with the Magnus. They're very good at escorting force users without letting them do anything dangerous. Because throughout these two games that I played against Maul, Maul lived till turn 5 this game until turn 6 the other game, and he attacked once out of those two games. So that
Mm.
feels good. Even if I'm not killing Maul, like I didn't kill Maul in the first game, he attacked once. That's a success in the Magnus book.
Yes, it is.
And they're not taking force choke, huh?
No, neither of these lists took force choke. This guy actually had the dark saber, and they both had burst of speed. So it's burst of speed, force push.
That
Yep.
makes sense. Makes sense.
I don't know why you would take the dark saber. I mean,
He was using it so that he could have cunning. He just really wanted cunning.
okay.
And he used cunning really well. He was able to use it basically to kill Cad because Cad needed to activate first, and so it would have been a roll off. But instead, he just said, "I'm going first." So I can see where it has definitely some value. This game was interesting because I actually put just a ton of suppression on a squad of pikes and got them to panic off the board by using Cad's 1 or 2 pip where he can pass off suppression.
Mhm.
And then um, Bosk was able to do kind of the same thing where he did his double attack against pikes. That pike squad got up to 10 suppression. They ended up panicking in the direction where my Magnus could kill them, and then the Magnus killed them. So this game
Yeah.
again came to battle points because Maul was not able to make it to my evaporators. Yeah, and so I won this one just barely, but by a better margin than the last game because I did end up killing Maul in this one. I
That's
think it
what I
was like
like
100
about
or so.
that's what I like about danger close is starting off in a good spot to make them panic off the board, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah, that was really nice. Yep. So at this point, I'm 2-0. I feel really strong. I'm like, man, my list is unbeatable. I can just decimate Mauls. This was the Maul pike that everyone's scared of. I destroyed it. So I feel like, a god of Legion. And so I go into my third game, and my third game is this guy has just the coolest list. Let me pull this one up for you guys. This is, I think, like what Toby should be running. So it's Callus with improvised order and environmental gear and his rifle. Imperial officer with vigilance and electro binoculars. Boba Fett with siege the initiative, hunter, and recon intel. 2 shore troopers with T-21Bs, and then one of them has recon intel. And then 2 of the mortars, 2 pikes that are running the disruptor and a capo, and then a squad of death troopers that has the DT F-16, so the cheaper upgrade that gives
Mhm.
compel. So again, this list is also doing the compel thing to get around pike suppression, and I think that that's really effective. Because I kept trying to suppress things in his army because Bosk is pretty good at that. But it just doesn't matter because he's like, oh, okay, they're gonna take an extra one and move and kill things. Invader League is letting people use Boba Fett's new cards. So this game was extremely short because I made really bad decisions. First round, we set up and I felt pretty good. I was like, oh, we're basically at range 4. He's a little bit stronger than me at range 4, so I didn't want to be quite at range 4, so really like at range 5. He moved Boba Fett forward. I kind of, because he pulled him from the bag because order control is kind of hard for this list. And so I ended up pushing forward and like getting a bunch of shots on Boba Fett, which was probably a mistake. Because round 2, he played Boba Fett's Rule with Respect, which I'm pretty convinced might be one of the best cards in the game,
Oh yeah.
especially for this list. Because if he's got 2 shore troopers that are now going to shoot with 3 blacks and 2 whites at range 4, which is just wild. He's got the mortars that will now shoot with 3 white and a black at range 4. Death troopers shoot with 5 black at range 4. And then the pikes are going to shoot with 3 blacks and a red at range 4. That is crazy. Like, as soon as he played that card, I realized I should not have moved in to shoot at Boba Fett. And he punished me appropriately. Basically, everything that was sitting at range 4 of him died. And I ended up conceding like in round 4. We played a couple more points. I made a mistake with Bosk where I scaled onto something that I thought would give me cover, but the base was tilted towards his army. And so he could see the whole base. And and so I went up there and we were both like, oh yeah, Bosk is in heavy cover. And then we look at it closer, I'm like, no, actually, he's just standing there like a moron. Okay. And Boss got wiped from the board. And then the next turn, Cad got killed just by overwhelming firepower. And when that happened, I was like, okay, there's no reason for us to mess around with this another couple rounds. I conceded end of round 4. So, but
What?
this list is good. Boba Fett is extremely strong with his especially with having the death troopers with compel. Because one thing I tried to do was put a bunch of suppression on Boba so he couldn't move and shoot because he doesn't have steady. That's kind of a weakness of his character, in my opinion, because he doesn't have range 4 and he doesn't have steady. So he has more trouble getting shots than either Cad or Bosk situationally. But because of compel, I mean, when you can move 3 and then shoot, yeah, you're going to get all your shots.
When he
It's
played when he played Rule with Respect, was he in range 1 of all his units?
It was, yeah. He
Nice.
deployed his stuff where I think it was one mortar squad did not get it.
Mhm.
But everybody else, it's not that hard to do because it's like droid cohesion where you can just be like, oh, I drop one guy back. So when you're at range 4, you don't really care where that last guy is anyways. So he's just, you can basically be at range 2 of Boba and still get it.
I'm just
Yeah.
envisioning that guy like has you took the bait just sitting in his room. being
Yep.
Like, yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, because it's like he puts Boba forward, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna ping Boba. And so we shot him like 4 times to put like a wound on him. And then next turn he's like, rule of respect. I'm like, oh yeah, this was really
Yeah.
stupid.
He had that happiness in his voice, a little giggity, like yes.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is why we play on TTS because
Yep.
I have a similar list of rebels that I actually played yesterday, where I have 3 DLT rebel troopers, Cassian Andor with his sniper, and 3 snipers. And then there's a turn where I play We Rule with Respect, and he's at range 1 of all those guys. So they're shooting extra black, and it just devastates everybody.
Yep.
But now I practice with them, so now I know it can happen and it's coming.
Yep. I even knew about this like going in because you get to see an invader, you get to see each other's lists beforehand. And so I was like, oh, he's got rule with respect. I've got to be careful. But then when he didn't play at turn 1, I was like, I'm going in. And that was the wrong call.
You got baited.
I got hecka baited. Yep.
Oh man, cool. So
Didn't
does that mean you're out of the game?
No, so I'm 2-1 right now. In order, the way it works, the top 2 out of each group. So a group is 6 people.
Mm,
Top 2 out of each group will get to go to eliminations. Right now I am second behind this guy. He's 3-0. I'm 2-1. And next is like there's 2-2 and then a couple 0 and somethings. So I have 2 more games. If I win them both, I have a reasonable shot at going on. If I lose another one, then I probably won't.
where can we find the Vader League list?
So if you just go to the Invader League website, Invader League Season 9, you can click on the what is it? It's if you click on Season 9 and you scroll down, there's a Season 9 round robin, and this is the West group. So you can click View Brackets,
Mhm.
and then ours is Group 6. But in any group, you can look at the bottom, and there's all the people, all the participants listed, and you can click on the list.
Nice. I gotta see this list, man. I know you read it off, but like it's one thing to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I would actually recommend like it's really cool to look at these lists and see what people are trying to do. And this
hell
list
yeah.
specifically, I think is going to be really strong. Boba, I think like I mean, he's good without his new cards.
Mhm.
And with his new cards, like I am 100% sold. He was doing crazy things that game. Like even he only played one of his new cards. He just played Rule with Respect. And other than that, he was mostly just using Compel and moving around and murdering my
Mhm.
stuff. But
Because he
it
get this.
feels
Oh man.
bad. Zero cover if he can see a fraction of your silhouette. Yeah, that does not feel good.
You know who I'm
Uh,
surprised we didn't get in this release? I just dawned on me with thinking about Mando and all that and
Hmm.
Boba is what's her name? Finn the assassin? Because
Oh, Shannik
he
Fen, Shannik
Shannik Finn,
Fen.
yeah. Because he
Yeah,
tried to kill that was season one when he tried to kill her, right? Where she tried to
I
kill him.
that might have been was that season one or season two? Might have been
I
season
think
two.
I don't know.
it's season. I think it's season one, but like then she like you assume she's dead, and then you get
Oh,
that cliffer at the end. That cliffhanger is just like, oh, she's not dead because Boba comes and gets her.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like this here. I think she'd be a cool character.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. This is a gnarly list. But
Yeah.
anyways, so my games. Yeah, I played a game last night. I played a list that I call I See Dead People. Essentially, it's got Leia, Cassian Andor, Boba Fett Din with his ambient rifle, Rebel Troopers with the DLT, and then the Commando Strike Team. Turn one, I play Leia's one pip, get early hits. Turn two, I play rules with respect. And then honestly, after that, Boba and Din are just doing their thing because independent standby on Boba with Sentinel is really good to lock down objectives. This list suffers from people who want to get in range, like really close, but you got to get really close. So I always want to play objectives that are very far away, and that's what I did. And it just picked off things. By the time it got to them, it didn't really matter. It was a close game though, but yeah. But the game I want to talk about is I played a game against 1 second against our very own Toby. So I was playing the Empire. I was playing my do-bag list with Commander Vader, and he was running the CIS Invasion Force with Grievous, Magna Guards, 6B1s, and a Droideka. He also had an AAT because you have to for Invasion Force. And how it worked out was we were playing battle lines, intercept transmission, and supply drop. Um, I deployed first because it was my battle deck. So I have this big old pyramid that's to the right of the map. I put all my guys essentially behind that Vader, everything else. The dewbacks were kind of sticking out because I want to do my new ways to motivate. He's seeing this. He puts everything over here. So essentially, we're going to be fighting for the right intercept and the middle intercept, right? But the last thing he deploys is his Magna Guards. So I got to deploy one of my strike teams as my last. So since there's nothing on the left, I decide to scout my strike team over there to take that point because they're just sitting there. It's a free point every round. So he has to make a decision. Do I want to commit a whole Magna Squad unit over there just for a strike team, or do I want to put him next to Grievous where that's where he wanted him to be? He decided to do that. I was egging him on though, because I was just like, "You're gonna let me get free points over here?" Because I wanted him to drop it over there, and then I was just like, "Cool, that's I don't have to deal with the magnets. That's over there. He can have that point. I'll take these points." He didn't do that though. He decided to send B1s over there. I tried to plink them off on the way over there, but they were able to get there round two. So me and his B1 squad just dancing around the line of sight blocker, just tying up that point. He goes to AAT, it comes up forward, and I think this is when he realized that was a mistake because my Vader has saber throw.
Mm,
And when he did that, I was like, Vader has impact 3, pierce 3. That's a easy 3 damage every turn. So I then move Vader. He does just that. His 3 damage on there. Toby's like regretting life because I get another one through. I think he has like 4 health. So then he's swinging Grievous around the big old pyramid with his droideka. They go speed 3. My guys go in. I kind of make a mistake, but I think it was a mistake I was willing to lose. Was my other 2 strike teams, they scouted up to the supply boxes, so that way they could tap it. But he sees that, he attacks one of them, takes out the leader, and now it's just one single guy. And honestly, strike teams don't want to be as close as they are right now. They're super close. Anybody can shoot at them. So we're just firing back and forth. Turn 2, he plays his 1 pip from the invasion force battle force box that gives the AAT the standby. I just saber throw this guy again, and since Grievous is coming to the right of the pyramid, I decide to saber throw, and then I'll move Vader to prepare for Grievous. He decides not to go with the AAT, which I think was a mistake, but I think he wanted to save it for a better shot, the standby. And then I attack and I killed the AAT. So
Oof.
he's already down one of his big piece, and he's just like, ah man. So then that round was just a little bit more shooting, and clicking each other off as we're going along. The next round, I totally forgot because what he did with his Grievous, he's double moved it up but underneath the pyramid, and he's gotten closer to me, and I'm just like, yeah, bring Grievous closer to Vader. I'm all for that. So then he next round plays his 1 pip. I play Vader's Might. He plays Train Your Jedi Arts. He goes with Grievous, double moves into Vader. Now Vader or Grievous has Jedi Hunter, so he attacks him. I think he gets 1 wound on him. I want to say 2 wounds. 2 wounds on him. So then, no, it had to be 3. He got 3 wounds on. No, it was 2 wounds. I'm sorry, 2 wounds. Now that I'm remembering. Then he spins the
No, it was
win.
3. It was 3. It was 3.
It was 2. You'll see why the third one comes in. It was 2. He spins the win, and he takes out the 2 strikes teams that are right there by the box because
Ooh.
they roll white saves. He takes them out, and he was rolling hot. Like his spin to win, he was getting like 3 to 4 every time. He pretty much clicks off some stormtroopers that are right there. So I'm just like, man. And he has up close and personal. So he's got 6 dodges on Grievous at this point. I'm like, okay, well, Vader attacks. That's not going to do anything. So what I decided to do is I take some standbys from my stormtroopers. Then I force push Grievous into some of those standbys, and then I get, I think, 1 or 2. I want to say 3 wounds on him. Because then Vader goes in and then he dodges those, right? So I'm sitting at 2. Oh, his spin to win on Vader got him an extra wound. So I'm sitting at 3. He's sitting at 4 wounds, right? So I'm just like, Vader's fine. Vader's fine. Um, the next turn, I gotta give credit to Toby. He's playing Grievous amazing. The next turn he plays, and now you, it's not now you die. It's crush them, where you get surges for every defeated unit. Since you just took out 2 strike teams, and then he took out who do you take out? Oh, he took out a Dewback. And so he's got 3 surges on Grievous and 3 surges on the Magnus and Droidekas. So I'm just like, okay, well, Vader goes with, what would I play? I played Implacable. So I aim, attack Grievous. Grievous goes down another 2 wounds because he's in at 5. And then I get a dodge and I take a wound. So Vader's at 4 health now. And then he immediately goes with Grievous. Grievous aims an attack. I dodge 1. So he gets 7 on the hits. I dodge 1 to 6 hits. I roll 4 blanks. Vader is dead. I was so like, are you joking me right now? I can't believe this. I can't believe Grievous beat Vader. So Vader doesn't get a second Implacable, and it was what hurts most is I'm the one that gave Vader his 4th wound off of Implacable. So that was like add salt to injury. So pretty much I try to kill Grievous since he's in the open. Nothing happens. The Magnus now moved up to Guardian for him. I managed to get 1 droideka left, and that's shooting. One of my dewbacks is in the middle of the intercept transmission. And then, like I said, me and the B1s are just dancing around with the other one. Um, on turn 2, when he was moving up Grievous, um, he he wasn't focused on the objective at this point. So the one on the very left, was tied. The one in the middle was tied. And then this one should have been tied, but he was just focusing on kills. So I managed to get the point. Turn 4, since he killed a Vader, it was tied on all 3 points, all tied. So at this point, I realized, okay, Vader's dead. That's it. I got to get my rest of my axe in the middle point, and then hopefully kill off the B1 in the very last one. So, turn 5, he's taking things down. I'm double moving everything to the middle. I have a full health to do back in the middle, so he's chomping up the B ones that are there. And then it comes down to we each had about like 3 to 4 acts left. He had more than me. But he decides to leave a full squad of B1s at the last point at the pyramid, which gives him a point or 2 points. And then since he was busy killing things again, he couldn't double move Grievous to the middle point. So Grievous was kind of a dead activation turn 6. And the Magnas were able to get there. And he was pretty much I was able to have more acts in the middle than he was. The last one's tied up still. So it came down to he had 2 victory points and I had 3. And it was because of that one victory point that he left that pyramid open that gave me the win. I thought I was gonna lose. I was already telling them, I was just like, everyone's gonna give me shit that I lost playing the Empire and you winning with the CIS. That's just gonna confirm to them that the CS is more OP. um, yeah, it was a fun game. It came down to the wire, and he was mad at himself. But I was like, Toby, don't be mad at yourself, man. You played really good. You played a really good Grievous game. And yeah, it was so fun. It was a fun game.
Toby's a great player. I mean, I know I've said it on the chat. I know I've said it before, but yeah, he's come a long ways. I like my games with Toby.
Yeah,
Toby, you play me. I was excited there for a minute hearing about it, man. I thought for sure that Toby was claiming the bounty. Like I was just excited, but no. You let me down, Toby. You were my only hope.
bro, he does better than you. What are you talking about? He killed Vader.
Dude, you're afraid to play me now. And I wouldn't let you play those horses as dewbacks.
I told him I go anytime there's a line of sight discrepancy on the dewbacks, I'm just gonna give it to you because
Dude, have you measured? So
no,
what's the length?
it's definitely a lot shorter or a lot like smaller lengthwise than the dewbacks. But honestly, it's just for fun proxying them, and I I'm probably gonna have some build a dewback just to like replace it to say like, oh yeah, you can shoot it. But if you're gonna argue that, hey, I got line of sight, I'm not gonna argue. I'm just like, yeah, you got line of sight because
Right.
You know what'd
yeah,
be
It's
cool
so
in that
hard to hide
army?
dewbacks anyways.
yeah.
You know what'd be cool in that army if you got the like the dragon from Mulan,
Oh,
and
Mushu.
that was your
Oh,
dewback.
That would be awesome.
you just gave me a good idea, Adam. I'm gonna get a proxy Mulan for Aiden and have Mushu as her little bot.
Oh,
Oh, that is a
there
good
you
idea.
go.
I like that a
That
That
is
lot.
awesome.
Adam, you're a genius, my man. You're a genius.
First time those words have ever been said. All right, so for time, we got to move on a little bit. Probably one or two rules questions. Daniel, do you have any prepared? I know I gave it to you last minute.
I do have a couple. So the first one is not an official ruling, but in Invader League they're allowing Boba Fett's new cards, and so there's tentative rulings that have been put out just to answer questions that come out, even though these cards haven't been officially released. So these are not final and official rulings, but they're how they're being played right now, and likely how they're going to be played competitively in the future. So the question that, and I ran into this at in my final game, uh, with Boba Fett's rule with respect, does Boba Fett get the extra black die from having a face-up border token and being within range one of himself?
I don't remember how it's worded, but if it is worded a friendly unit, yes, he does. If it's worded another friendly unit,
Let me
then no,
pull
he
this
doesn't.
up. So the wording
Ooh.
is, while Boba Fett has a face-up order token, when a friendly unit at range 1 and in line of sight of him makes a ranged attack, add 1 black die to one of that unit's attack pools.
Yes, he
So
would get it.
I'm gonna say no under the condition that says when Boba Fett has a face-up order token. If I'm not mistaken, when you go with something, you flip over the token. So if you go with Boba, you flip over his token, and he no longer has a face-up order token.
See, that's exactly what I thought, JR. But the tentative ruling is that you don't flip the token until after they've activated. So he actually
Oh.
does get his own black die, which was very, very sad. So that was just another one. It's like, oh, Boba gets another black die too. Okay.
That's good to know. I wish I would know that on my last game. I didn't
hmm
give it to him.
No, I definitely wouldn't have guessed this. So Adam, you're correct. Yeah, this Boba gets his own black die, which so that means like worst case scenario, like absolute worst case scenario. Boba's just getting an extra black die in his attack, which is pretty good. That's a real good 3-pip. And then
Yeah.
best case scenario, your whole army is just murdering things.
Yeah. So
All
good.
right, the other question I've got for you guys, and this is something that I recently learned by playing it wrong, and now I've been corrected. When you have, so there was a case, I'm just going to summarize this because it's a lot of text, but basically, if you have 2 instances of light cover, how does this apply to a unit?
You have heavy cover.
No, it doesn't stack. Light cover doesn't stack.
JR is correct on this one. Light cover does not stack. I always thought light cover plus light cover equals heavy cover, but no, it's light cover. And if you have any modifier, so the modifiers can be suppression, modifiers can be, I guess it used to be duck and cover, or it used to be low profile, but not anymore. But like cover 1 on cards and stuff. So there are ways to modify your cover, but light cover plus light cover is still just light cover.
Yeah, I
I
had
have been
this.
playing every game wrong
Yep,
since
me
I
too.
started this.
Yep, I learned this rule also in that last game. I learned a lot that last game.
Yeah, I had this come up in my early games when I was learning the game, and I was just like, "What? That doesn't work that way? That's dumb." So it never left me.
Yep.
So if I have a suppression token
hmm
That improved your
and
cover.
there's suppression improves the token.
Suppression improves. It's just like if
Okay.
you're in light area terrain and they also have to shoot through another light area terrain.
Yeah.
It's still only
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, I would have give you heavy.
Yeah, I tried to give myself heavy and he's like, actually, that's only light. I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, hold on, Daniel. When you were playing this guy, was he super calm? He was just like, "Nah, man, I'm sorry." Like that calmness was like, "I'm gonna win this, but I'm gonna be super polite to you."
I think that's how it got after like turn 2. I think he was a little bit nervous because we were both 2-0 coming into this game. So it was like,
Yeah.
so I think he was a little nervous and I did deploy pretty well. But I think after turn 1, when I bit so hard on his bait, he was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, because that's how I get too. When I know I have the game, I'm just like, yeah, that's not how it works. But
Yep. Yep. So by the time this came up, he was pretty calm.
Man, I would have just been like, yes, let's go. Oh, I have a rules question for you guys. Out of nowhere, because you're both Cad Bane players. If a unit was immobilized and in melee, can the attacker move away? So Cad Bane uses his gauntlets in melee for his first action, immobilizing the enemy. Can his second action be to move out of combat, out of melee?
yeah,
Cad can, specifically because his gauntlets let him walk away from people with immobilize. That's not typically the case. So like
right.
my Magnus can't.
If
So
if something else immobilizes it, they cannot disengage it. So a good example is what I'm learning with Din. I learned Din's not good against force users, and I'm learning you don't want to smack him with your ambient rifle in melee because you're planting him, the force user there, and he can't escape. And Din does not want to be in that case.
no, but you are right. Unless the melee rules still apply. So if you have disengage, you can. If you do not, then fire stay there.
Yeah, it's just people get confused because Cad is like one of the big immobilized people in the game, and he specifically on his gauntlets can walk away from people that have immobilized.
So can a immobilized unit still melee or still attack while immobilized? That
Yeah.
was the follow-up question of his. And yeah.
Yep.
All right, gents, we are out of time. You guys got any last minute stuff to add?
I don't think so.
Nothing? JR?
No.
No. Think we're doing pretty good. Can't wait for the releases of new units. Nerf Den.
Yeah, nerfed in free Grogu. I do want to add, guys, those of you watching us on YouTube or go to our YouTube, go to our Discord, give us likes, give us a subscribe. We stream every Wednesday night at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time on our Twitch. I'll throw all that information. Any help, I mean, just a simple like or subscribe button click is amazing. And we look forward to seeing you guys out. We'll be at Go Back Gaming this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody out in
See you
podcast
guys.
land.